Hello! In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the email reply feature in Ask a Librarian, also known as LibAnswers. Now, a student who wants to use this system may get into it a couple of different ways. They may click this email link to email us at librarian@ask.consortiumlibrary.org, or they might type a question. Trying to think of a question. Where can I get coffee at the library? And I'll click Ask Us. A number of different options will come up. I happen to know ahead of time that none of them answer this question, so I will continue to fill out this form over here. I don't have more detail. That was my whole question. So you put in an email. And this is all the patron interface, of course. We won't normally fill out this part. I just want to show you what it looks like for them. They'll click Submit Your Question, and an email gets sent. So that was all the public interface. That was all what the students see. Let me show you what we see in the back end. You log in. Sorry, let me show you that again. On every screen, this top right corner here has the admin sign-in. You log in with the same username and password that you use for LibGuides, or that you used for LibGuides a month ago. As I said in the other video, if you don't have an account or you can't remember your password or whatever, get in touch with me. I'm real easy to find. And this is your unanswered question queue. There are 2 questions in the queue right now. I don't actually feel like answering the coffee one. I was just showing you the interface. I'll go ahead and answer this older question, much older. Normally they won't be that old. Who do I contact for in-depth research on my topic? Now you have a lot of options on this screen. First of all, you could, if you wanted to, edit the question to make it whom, but let's not. For the most part, I don't mind leaving the questions in the student's voice. What you will want to do, though, is to decide when you go to answer the question, do you want to make it public or do you want to make it private? We have both. We have knowledge base. We have a knowledge base that is private, where we can look up previously answered questions that we didn't send to the public FAQ. But we also have the public FAQ, and especially early on, we're going to want to work really hard on building that up. So I'm going to make this a public answer. I'm going to uncheck private. Now it's public. As you see, a whole bunch more options popped up. And now I can add videos and more info and files. You don't have to do any of those things, but you can. You can also record your reference analytics from this screen. You don't have to. You can uncheck this box, and then when you're done answering the question here, you can go back up to Ref Analytics like I showed you in the last video. This is just here to make your life easier. If it doesn't make your life easier, don't use it. I'm just going to go ahead and record reference analytics for this. You aren't necessarily going to know if they're student or faculty. In this case, since I filled it out... Oh, okay, so this time it says if it comes in as an email, this affiliation thing will be blank. But if it comes in through the interface, it will say who they are. It's required on the form. Don't worry too much about that. We'll make that better over time. So it was faculty and staff. Question format, obviously it was email/LibAnswers. Category, let's see, the question was, who do I contact for in-depth research? So that's kind of a referral, I suppose. Or, you know, it could be research help. That one's tricky, right? Read skill, this one's really pretty easy. We already know where our subject liaisons librarians list is. I have it conveniently preloaded in my browser. So I'm copying the URL and switching back to the first tab and typing an answer here. Now, if you want to, you can just say this. You can also, actually, let me go ahead and do this. You can make it into a link. It's not that smart, so you have to paste in the link again. Insert. And now this is clickable. It's much easier to use. Since we're making this public, we should assign a topic. None of these topics are that great. Let's add a topic. Library staff. Okay. And faculty. Add. Okay. And then you can add keywords. Research, help, subject. Oh. You have to add them all separately. That's important to know. Subject. A little librarian. You can probably think of better ones. The nice thing is we can go back through and edit these after they're done. Person most closely tied to the subject you are researching will be able to provide in-depth help. All right, that's not a bad first shot at an answer, right? You can see it. It really wants you to save your drafts pretty often. It doesn't want you to lose it. So now I've saved my draft. I can click around on the rest of the screen and that red box won't come back up. So it's public. I am recording analytics for it. I can preview what the email I send looks like. And as you can see, they get a link that they can click on to reply. They can also reply from their email interface. So you could go either way. You can also preview, since it's a public answer, you can preview what it'll look like on our answer page. That looks good. There's no private information. There's no, yeah, it's great. You can close the preview, and then you can click answer it. And it'll bring you back to the queue. There is one more question not answered. But that's a terrible question, right? And anyway, it's coming from me. I can just change my mind and decide I don't want to answer this, and I can click delete. Again, SpringShare doesn't want you to delete things that you aren't serious about, so you have the option to close it, or you can delete it. Delete removes it entirely. Closing it just kind of ends the conversation. So if you want to, if you've been having a conversation back and forth and you want to keep it in your queue, but you don't want, or not in your queue, you want to keep it in your knowledge base, but you don't want to send an answer, close is actually the option you want. So in this case, it was just a fake question anyway. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Okay. And now our queue is empty. One thing to be aware of, as you can see, it still says 1 up here because it hasn't refreshed. There, now it's refreshed and it says 0. When you're on your dashboard, click here, this loads, just check from time to time and make sure that these are all zeros. You can receive replies to questions and they don't show up as an unanswered question. They show up as a reply. So just kind of, keep an eye on those. And that is how you use LibAnswers / Ask a Librarian to answer questions that have come through email. As always, if you have any questions, if any of this was unclear, feel free to contact me. I'm really easy to reach. There's my email.